Well, hello. This is not Southern Sunday lunch. What? It should be. This is Southern Sunday lunch prep because we got about an hour and a half to go. And I'm just going to show you this. We didn't have service today because of snow. We've got about a half inch maybe. And so we are having something Mama used to fix all the time, didn't you, Mama?
Yeah.
Not this way, though.
No.
But we used to have whole chickens. Now,
I just baked them plain, not like you're fixing.
Used to, back in the day, a whole chicken didn't cost much. This one ran $2.56. So it's a meal, and it's got there's some cost to it. So in this kettle, and I'm just using this because I'm going to use it for something else. I've got some big chunked up carrots. Don't worry about me touching chicken and touching these because it's going to be okay. I've got some sweet potatoes, raw. I've got a few Irish potatoes, and I've got some red potatoes and some celery in here. That's all for flavor. Now, it's a plenty. It's a plenty and too much for this one meal, but I'm planning on this meal going for several meals. Let's put all of our veggies into our roaster. Okay?
You might should have got the big one for all of
Maybe
this.
I should have, Mama. Let's make a little place here so it's in our roaster. See there? Alright, so we are going to roast this chicken with those vegetables. Now, I can set that aside. We're through. I did spray that with butter. So in here, I'm going to add some celery scraps, the leaves, the celery, this kind of stuff here, okay? Because I'm going to use this, and you're going to see how. Now, for $10.56, this would be a wonderful meal, and probably not even too expensive. But I'm going to show you, we're going to make about 4 or 5 meals altogether out of this. I took the innards stuff, the giblets they call it, and I'm going to put them in here with my celery. Now in here is the heart. You'll find a neck sometime. This bird must have not had a neck. It wasn't here. But the liver, the hearts, all that are going in here. Just in there with that celery. This is discard. I patted him dry. I washed him off a little bit. I don't always wash chicken. Miss Lisa Clapp taught me that. From Cooking, Cutting Up, Keeping It Real. Hey, Lisa. And so I just don't wash it normally, but a whole bird I do. So what I'm going to do here, just so y'all are up to speed, I'm going to make a beautiful broth while I'm cooking chicken, cooking lunch. And this broth could be used for chicken and rice or dumplings or you name it. I've got a good sharp knife. This is a Tupperware. It's not the little paring knife that you see me using. It's orange. It's a bigger size. It's a newer one I come out with, and I love it. So I don't need this little thing here. So I'm just...
It'll play for this.
Huh?
That'll play for this.
Yes, ma'am. That's where it's going. So I'm taking all that right there off as much as I can. Going to cut right down in there. Don't need that. But boy, will this make a delicious broth. And this is going to be a stock. This is not really going to be a traditional broth because it's going to have bones. So this fat's going in there. See, that cleaned it up quite a bit. You can clean off any you want. So now this is the breasts side. I'm going to flip him over. This is the spatchcock part. Now, if you're wondering why so fancy, it ain't really fancy. It just means to smash out the chicken. And that's what we're going to do. Why? This will cook it in about half the time. Plus, that beautiful broth is now an option. And another meal is an option. So when you lay your chicken out like this, breast side down, backbone up. You can feel that backbone right there. So you want to come up here at the top and you just want to cut right down. You'll hear some clicking. That just means you're cutting the ribs. Okay? And we're going to cut right down that side. Just like that.
I'm going to throw this part away you put in there.
Okay. Mama don't like something.
The tail.
Of the tail. Turn him around so it depends on which handed you are. If you're right-handed, left-handed, dominant. So you want to use your dominant hand to cut. Come right down that other side, just like we did that one. And that's what we're doing. Make sure you have a good sharp knife, something you can depend on, or poultry shears. And I've got some poultry shears here in case I need to cut something. What's the difference between a stock and a broth? Well, a broth is where you use the fat or you use the meat and you cook the meat, and what's left is your broth. If you're going to make a stock, you're going to use the bone too. And the bone has flavor. So this is the chicken backbone. You could throw that away, but boy, would you be wasting a great taste. It's got quite a bit of meat on it. It's got that fat on it. Into our stock pot it goes. So now we have successfully spatchcocked the chicken. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to go right down the middle of that breastplate. Right there. Right down through there. And you'll see a little bit of whatever you want to call that is there. Now you're going to flip him over. Now I'm not using my wooden cutting board. I don't ever use it with chicken because I want to be able to spleach this and know it's completely clean. Now mash him down like that. Flip him back over, and we're going to do a little bit more removal. If you'll feel this connected tendons and stuff in there, you don't want those. But if you'll feel right in here with your fingers, you can find this bone line. Watch your fingers. Get right under there and take those ribs out. Get right underneath there. See how beautiful that is? How easy. Now, folks, don't let any of this intimidate you. There's nothing to be afraid of. You have been cooking for years. You know this is just a different process. Take that rib out. Just like that. You can use shears, but if you got a good, dependable knife, it'll work well too. But you are going to get into some bone there. Bring it right on.
The joint.
Yeah, bring it right on up. There's that pulley bone. Okay. Watch your fingers in that moist chicken. Bone, broth pot. Look at there. Now here's another one. I'm turning him around because I want to be able to get to my dominant hand here and do it just right. So right down in there we're going. Once again, get underneath this rib. Come right out the back side here. I never have done one of these with you all. I don't want to intimidate you and think, oh, you couldn't do that. But this is a delicious chicken. So you just keep cutting that rib plate out. Just like that. See, you can find the bone. You'll feel it. It ain't hard to feel. Some of y'all are like, I would never do that. You don't have to. You can buy this already cut up for you. You can ask your butcher to spatchcock them. Flatten them out. Keep on getting around that wing bone up there. If you get into a joint, give your knife a little gentle twist and it will just pop loose. Okay? Don't get in a hurry. Keep your fingers in mind as you're doing all this. Right up, well, that's that pulley bone piece. You can sometimes pull the meat off from the bone, but if you get into a joint situation, pull it loose. Okay. Right around that piece, and we're almost there. Success is at hand, as they say. Remember, we're not wasting this, so if you leave meat on it, that's fine too. This is a big piece of meat there, and it'll go right in there. All right.
Get that one bone. I got a bone.
Yeah. Thank you, Mama. 2 eyes are better than one. This is that little piece of bone in there with a little piece of meat on it. So we have successfully got our chicken all spread out here. And you can even take these little bones off here because you know they burn the little tips of the wings. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to leave the bigger portion, and we're going to take off this little piece here. Try not to cut ourselves. I may have to get the scissors, but I have them on standby. Take that little tip off that usually gets burnt anyway. So that's what you're doing. Now, this tender here, we've got a lot of bird here, and we don't need, that's the tender. When I tell you there's a strip in there called the tender, that's it. I'm going to lay him over there, but we may not fix him. And there's the other one. We may not fix it today. I may wrap them up and use them for chicken fajitas or something like that. But there's the beautiful breast, all exposed there, and there's the thighs, and there's that. Now we're going to roll him back over. Now, Mama, since I'm all, can you come over here and be my lovely assistant?
Oh, I try my best to.
Come right over here. So, I played this safe. I've got a little bit of butter here. I'm not going to use it for nothing else. So, I've got my butter, and I'm going to go right up under this skin, and I'm going to put this butter. This happens to be unsalted. You use salted. We use salted for most everything. We had this over the holidays. And I'm putting that butter under that skin. You see it? Putting it right under that skin. Putting some of it down here by the thighs. You use as much butter as you want to. I would like to use a whole stick.
You've got these onions, you forget them.
No, I ain't forgot them yet. I'd like to use a whole stick, but I'm not going to. Now, Mama, if you will sprinkle a little bit of that paprika there, Mama's going to say, oh, this is too much.
It's going to be too much. You're real.
Sprinkle in just gentle. All right, this is smoked paprika. Okay, Mama, that's great. And I'm going to rub that in. Rub that in. Put a little bit of that right there, thyme. This is thyme. Keep going, Mama. Keep going. Mama says, I'm wore out. You wore me out. Okay, put a little bit of that tarragon leaf. You can use tarragon. You can use rosemary. We're going to use tarragon today. Just sprinkle it like you did the thyme and all.
If I covered it good.
Probably. And get a little poultry. This is just poultry seasoning like you would use in your dressing or chicken. This is for chicken.
That's good enough?
I think so, Mama.
Okay.
A little bit of garlic and onion. This is minced. I'm going to wash my hands. I ain't going to rub that no more. It's looking great.
I'm just going to...
I know I got to touch that chicken, folks. But I'm going to touch some more stuff before I touch it again. And I want to make sure I'm not cross-contaminating anything. When we deal with chicken, we wash the towels. Everything gets put into a special category of do not touch, do not cross-contaminate. You having troubles?
It was kind of dry. I had to get a knife.
Oh, Mama, you're making this delicious. All right.
Okay.
Now, this is some onion we had left the other night, and I'm just going to put a little on here but I'm going to put the rest over here with these vegetables. You would probably want to use more onion than that. You'll probably want to use a whole yellow onion or maybe more. Mama, you get us an orange. Now, I'm going to put a little orange zest on here. I do this to turkey. I do this to chicken if I'm fixing a whole one. You just take a whole orange, wash it well, and then just put your zest. And what you want to do is don't get into the white. Just take that top layer of orange.
Oh, that orange smells good.
Oh, don't it? The citrus, the wonderful. So it's covered in this beautiful zest. Okay. Now I'm going to take this, all thing I've cut with this is the chicken. So I'm going to take this orange and halfen it up here, and Mama and I can eat this later as a snack. I'm joking. I'm going to cut it in half. Some of y'all went, he just used that nasty knife. I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to lay it right here on top of these vegetables where I'm going to lay the chicken. Okay? Now, this is our stock pot. It's ready for the stove. And I'll start doing all that together. So here's the chicken. I've not touched chicken yet. Okay, so here's the chicken. This is what it's gonna be. That orange is laid right there. I can lay it face up. It really don't matter. It may hold a little bit, but that's gonna give tons of flavor, and it's gonna support the chicken a little bit. So now I'm gonna grab each corner, just like this, because all that goodie's on there, and I don't want to lose it. And I'm going to lay it out right there. Can y'all see that?
Shake that off your board in there.
Shake. Don't you waste that good stuff, Mama. See it? I will, Mama. There's a lot of seasoning there. Now, I have been preheating this oven. I'm going to wash my hands good. Again, you can't wash your hands too often when you're dealing with raw chicken, folks. I'm going to fill this up with filtered water, this stock pot. And then I'm going to not fill it up. I'm going to fill it about 4 or 5 inches above what's in there. And then I'm going to, I love to use, for chicken, a napkin or paper towel or something like this that I can discard when I'm getting those major things.
Now you need aluminum
No, not yet. We may need aluminum foil later if it gets too, but we're going to cook it uncovered. And I'm going to cover it. This is olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. This will help to brown that skin. It will help to roast those vegetables. In there it goes. Now, I'm going to add a cup of water in there. Filtered water. Just to give it a head start, give it a little steam. And I will have to check this because I'm not covering it. I'm not using a bag or any of that. So 1 cup of water is going in. This will create some beautiful steam. It'll give those vegetables a chance to let their natural juices flow. But there it is. I am going to put some good old-fashioned black pepper, just table pepper as I call it. Table ground already. And y'all know I love this tri-colored peppercorns. This is set to grind pretty little. I am going to put some regular black peppercorns. Now, here's the secret to the success. This is pink Himalayan salt. And you got to have a little salt. I know we're doing less, but we ain't doing none. And pink Himalayan supposedly has less sodium. I don't know if I believe all that. But anyway. Here's the secret to the success of your chicken. Fixed like this. I preheated my oven to 425 degrees. I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to bake it for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Then I'm going to cut it down to 325 and I'm going to bake it 20 minutes per pound of chicken. Okay? So it'll be about 30, 40 minutes. Probably for this was, I'll have to look on the package. I didn't really. Mama threw it away. But I'm going to say, I'll know when I'm going to do an internal check of temperature too. I know y'all like to see the food, but I hate to talk to a headless torso. So that's what I'm going to do. The oven is preheating. It's at 425. It's ready. I'm going to put this in. It'll bake. This whole thing will bake. If I see the chicken's getting a little brown or there's an issue with any of the vegetables, I'll loosely tint foil. I won't tighten it down. But I'm going to cook this uncovered. Let it brown. Let it cook. So this is Spatchcock Chicken for Sunday lunch. Now, I've got those 2 chicken tenders from this $10 chicken. I'm going to have that pot of broth stock that I can do for soup or anything else. I can take those 2 tenders. I might chunk them up and make fajitas one day this week. I might take those 2 tenders, make a little bit of chicken salad. But remember, I'm going to have a lot of chicken left here to add to those 2. I could have left them on here and cooked them, but we may want them different. We may not want them with this and in this flavor. We may want to, Mama may want to fix them for lunch one day. So that's a way to stretch this out. But this is a good way to feed the family. $10.56 for a whole bird. And if it's not going to take that long to cook, it's going to cook in about half the time if I had not have flattened it out. If that word, spatchcock, makes you nervous, flattened chicken is what it means. So I'm flattened it out, and it's just going to cook on top of these vegetables. These vegetables will not all cook at the exact same rate. The carrots, the sweet potatoes will take a few more minutes, but within an hour and a half I'm going to cook this. It's all going to get cooked and be good. So this is not Southern Sunday lunch. This is prep for Southern Sunday lunch. We'll be back probably about an hour and a half, and we'll be eating. Y'all have a good one.